Welcome to Retirement Ramblings. I'm Scott, and today is day 92 on my countdown to retirement. So, first thing this morning, I ended up downloading all the positions that we have across our portfolio so we could do our end of month financial summary before the market opened. So, once that was done, I gave my wife that file or those files as input into our monthly net worth report, which she compiles at the end of each month, along with a monthly expense report that she maintains. And that way, both of us are aware of both sides of the ledger, what our assets are and what our liabilities or expenses are. And then she sent me the files when she was completed with those. And then I go into the files and I add detailed notes about many of the items. And then I send it back to her, and that becomes the basis for the next month report. And I use those files when I go and update my Bolden retirement plan at the end of each month. And so that once that was taken care of, went on with my day. And then a little bit later, I had my wife log on to the medical portal associated with her doctor, and then I drafted a note for her to send to the doctor, which is her new primary care physician she's going to see in a couple of weeks, asking him to basically order 21 lab tests that I wanted her to have in advance of her meeting with him so they could have a comprehensive discussion regarding her health, use it as a baseline moving forward, and go from there. As many of you know, my wife turned 70 this year, and so for me, I think it'd be a good idea to make sure that she has a good starting number, she has a fully comprehensive lab workup, and then go forward from there. I had one done when I turned, I want to say, it was either 62 or 63. I created my baseline and then I update that annually. But my wife hadn't gone through the trouble of getting that done. Anyway, sent the letter off to the doctor, who, to his credit, got back to us reasonably quickly, like within an hour, and said, basically, really comprehensive list that you want. Unfortunately, your insurance isn't going to cover a large number of these tests without having some documented underlying condition. And so we wrote back and said, that's fine. Please, order whatever you can, and then send us a list of whatever things you cannot order, so we can go from there. So again, he accommodated that request. So he told us the 9 labs that he was willing to write, or that he could write, that he knew insurance would cover. And then the other 12 labs, I logged on to Ulta Labs with an account we created for my wife. And then I went through and I ordered the specific labs, those that he wouldn't write. It ended up costing me like $390 for the labs, plus it was like a $12 and change draw fee, and so just over $400 to be able to get the comprehensive set that I wanted for her as a baseline. And so that's already processed. The appointment is set, so she'll go first thing Monday morning to have the draw done, and she'll get the lab results back in time to be able to download from the online portal, from the lab. In this case, it's Quest. Ulta Labs lets you either use Quest or LabCorp. Quest happens to be more convenient for us, so we're doing it there. But anyway, and then from the Quest or the lab or the Ulta Labs portal, either one, download the results. Then she can go to the portal associated with the doctor, and that portal allows her to upload the files so that when she goes to see him, he'll have a comprehensive list of the ones he ordered in combination with the ones we ordered separately from him, all to be able to review and establish the baseline moving forward. And from my point of view, spending the $400 is, well worth the money to establish the baseline for my wife, to make sure she can have a meaningful conversation with the doctor, and also to know that if something changes, year over year, we can try and stay ahead of any meaningful degradation in what the lab work shows. And for me, one of the reasons that I do this is my dad was perfectly healthy, really active up until 2014. And then in July of 2014, he had a set of lab work done. Kind of showed some questionable numbers, but the doctor really didn't do anything about it. Then, come 2015, they ran the same labs again, and things had deteriorated greatly, and then ended up having all kinds of problems that ultimately led to what I consider his premature death. So I'm not going to let that happen with my wife. I am going to pay what the money is that I need to pay to make sure her health and my health is structured in a way that we can monitor it and take whatever corrective actions we can to have the longest health span that we possibly can. And it super annoys me, quite honestly, that doctors immediately write off your request if it's not covered by insurance without even having the conversation with you to say, do you want to do this even if it costs you out of pocket money? Maybe a lot of people by default would say, if it's not covered by insurance, I don't want it. But I'm not one of those people. And as long as I understand what the cost structure is, if the cost makes sense to me, I'm willing to pay for it, irrespective of the insurance. So anyway, that's that. Then ordered, I take magnesium glycinate along with some potassium pretty much every evening. And so I was getting low on the magnesium glycinate that I use. So ordered a replacement bottle through Amazon because it's just less expensive, especially when you consider shipping, than ordering it directly from the company on their website. So I get it that way. Then I put together my weekly shopping list of proteins, which I'll quickly run through here because there's not that many. So at Kroger, they've got boneless pork tenderloin, $2.99 a pound. Smithfield bacon, $4.99 each. They got snow crab for $9.99 a pound, and you can either do it in 4-pound, 2-pound, or potentially loose in the counter. But the 4 pounds is $39.96 with a digital coupon. 2 pounds is $19.98 with a digital coupon, and then the $9.99 a pound with a digital coupon if you get it in the case. At Publix, they've got Hormel Black Label bacon, $5 each on a BOGO. At Lidl, they've got Butcher Specialty fresh whole chicken wings, the family pack, for $1.99 a pound with my Lidl. And then Friday through Sunday, they're going to have Eggland's Best large eggs, 12 count, for $2.49 a dozen. And then over at Sprouts, which I hardly ever go to anymore, for whatever reason this week, they're running a sale on boneless Angus beef New York strip in a value pack, which is about 2.3 pounds according to them, package for $9.99 a pound. And I haven't been able to find New York strip at that price in a long time. So I'm definitely be going to Sprouts to check it out. Then we went over to Jim and Nick's barbecue for dinner because I wanted something substantial because I'm going to be starting a fast, or I started a fast already this evening, that I'll be going through at least through tomorrow evening and maybe into Friday morning. And I just wanted to make sure that I had something that would carry me through. So that's that's taken care of. And then I spoke with my mom, and because I didn't get a chance to talk with her last night since she was at a card game. She didn't end up winning, but she had a good time, and really that's all that matters. So that's kind of my update for today. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section down below, or drop me an email at myretirementramblings@gmail.com. Otherwise, I hope you have a great evening, and until tomorrow, take care.